ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भगवत् ॐ नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं। परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining for a discussion on the transcendental knowledge and um, primarily the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a spotless Purana. So today we are going to read Canto 3, 29 chapter, 25 and 25 slokas. आर्चदव अर्चयेत् तवद् ईश्वरं मां स्वकर्म कृत यावन्न वेदस्वहृदि सर्वभूतेष्व अवस्थितम्। आर्चदव आर्चदव अर्चये तवद् ईश्वरं मम मां स्वकर्म कृत यावन्न वेदस्वहृदि सर्वभूतेष्व अवस्थितम्। Translation. Performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities as well. Let me read that translation once again. In my opinion, the two verses that we are discussing today are very profound, a practical solution for all our problems. So once again, performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities as well. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Worship of the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is prescribed here with even even for persons who are simply discharging their prescribed duties. There are prescribed duties for different social classes of men: the Brahmanas, the Vaishyas, and Kshatriyas, and Sudras, and for the different ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. One should worship the deity of the Lord until one appreciates the presence of the Lord in every living entity. In other words, one should not be satisfied simply by discharging his duties properly. He must realize his relationship and the relationship all other living entities with the supreme personality of Godhead. If he does not understand this, then even though he discharges his prescribed duties properly, it is to be understood that he is simply laboring without profit. The word swakarmakrit in this verse is very significant. Swakarmakrit is one who engages in discharging his prescribed duties. It is not one who has become a devotee of the Lord or who engages in devotional service should give up his prescribed duties. No one should be lazy under the plea of devotional service. One has to execute devotional service according to his prescribed duties. Swakarma krit means that one should discharge the duties prescribed for him without neglect. Okay, let's go to the next sloka. 3.29-26. Atmanascha parasyapi yaha karoti antarodharam tasya bhinnadraso mrutyur vidhade bhayam ulbhanam. Translation: as the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the least discrimination between himself and other living entities because of differential outlook. Let me repeat once again. As as the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the least discrimination between himself and other living entities because of a differential outlook. Purport by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are bodily differentiations among all varieties of living entities, but devotees should not distinguish between one living entity and another on such a basis. A devotee's outlook should be that both the soul and supersoul are equally present in all varieties of living entities. Okay, so now these two particular slokas, when I first read, I thought they're very profound, and then also on a practical application basis, in my opinion, they are perfect solutions for our problems, both at the individual level and at the even at the global level. How? Let me just we'll discuss about that. So here in the first shloka, it is said that one is recommended, one's dharma is to perform the prescribed duties. And even for those individuals or the jivas who are recommended to perform their duties, prescribed duties, but also recommended to worship the deity worship. Now, Bhagavatam also says that the Lord can be viewed or perceived in three forms, right? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavaneti, right? So often we hear in Srila Prabhupada lectures condemning the Brahman feature. I mean, the formless uh, form of the Supreme Lord. So one may perceive in these three are bona fide, but yet the high recommendation is for the Bhagavan feature. Why? It is easy to connect. It is easy to practice and get the benefit with minimal effort. Why? Because especially as a sadhakas, we, I mean, I improve my maturity in spiritual practice through sadhana. This sadhana bhakti, without sadhana, it's not something that I took birth and I can get the perfection. No, there is an endeavor needed from individual, and that endeavor is through the practice, through the sadhana. So that is where what form of the Lord we is more beneficial. So here my agenda is not to discriminate that form or this form. But what my personal feeling is the Bhagavan feature is more attractive and more easy to connect. So having said that, the even in this sloka, it is recommended that the Bhagavan feature uh, uh, should be accepted and performed. Now, on a practical level, also for us Gruhasthas, it is very, very important. Now, Prabhupada also in the purport says that this particular instruction applies to everybody. Now, say the Varnashrama Dharma. This is the Vedic injunction that one should, and even the society should follow this Varnashrama Dharma. If I remember once Prabhupada was asked by one of the, I think one of the city, probably it is Chicago, some one individual at the high position occupied in the police department, he asked, how can we reduce the crime in the society? And Prabhupada gave him a very, very beautiful answer because, see, in mundane examples, there will be so many mundane examples also. But these mundane applications and the teachings may not be that profound. But any spiritualist, the Lord loving jiva or the person, he gives a profound answers that uproots the addresses the root cause. So he said the very problem is people are indulged in so much materialism, and the only way they can truly reform through the adaptation or through the realization of the Lord and practicing that. That is the only way truly the society can be free from all kinds of violences. So then for that, he addressed the root cause of the problem, and on a practical basis, Prabhupada suggested that these people should be encouraged or taught to meditate or to glorify the Lord through the name, that is chanting. So I believe uh, from that our Prabhupada also instituted this ISKCON, one of the wing prison preaching. So look at that. See, Prabhupada truly adopts these principles on a practical basis. He did not establish ISKCON just like that. He wanted to serve every individual. It doesn't matter what country you belong to, what caste you belong to, what religion you belong to. It doesn't matter. These are all external factors. But truly believing that whatever the so called religion you are, whatever the so called belief you are, it doesn't matter. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are all part and parcel of the Krishna. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, right, in the 15th chapter, the Lord says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Mamai Vamsho, Mama Eva Amsha. So when that spirit is there, what to speak of within the humans, but even the everything, animals also, the every living entity in this world has the Lord resides in the form of Paramatma. So that feature also, some people take it and meditate on that, right? So, because of that, the understanding, Prabhupada established this movement to give this divine knowledge so that the peace will be established and everybody can go back to the Godhead. So, that is the spirit. Now, here, particularly the aspect of deity worship. Now, on a practical ground, if we observe the deity worship is very, very important. Why? Especially sadhakas like me, it is very easy. Now, before going to that, some of the spiritual pastimes, if we look at even Dhruva Maharaj. So, Dhruva Maharaj, when he was um, uh, when he could not that affection didn't receive the affection from his father, he felt very annoyed, or he felt very bad, and it put him in a sorrow situation, unhappy situation. And then that a failure on his father's part, how this Dhruva is not treated well because of the affection to his younger wife, whatever the reason. So, but then Dhruva Maharaj, upon the suggestion of his mother, his mother said, "Don't worry, the Lord is the one who is the giver of everything. So why don't you go and uh, ask the Lord Himself?" So on that instruction, he went on set a journey to meditate on the Supreme Lord. So Dhruva Maharaj, he did all kinds of austerities, and also he performed this deity worship in the form of through his meditation. And finally, what he did, he was able to, and even this process on the journey, Narad Muni has guided him how he should be meditate. Because even these, the so-called, in the meditation also, some people may meditate on vacuum, and some people meditate on the form of the Lord. That is also equally important. So Dhruva Maharaj, that guidance was given by Narad Muni, and finally he was able to, when the Lord appeared, he could see that whatever the form that he was meditating, it's exactly the same. So when he saw the Lord, then once he saw the Lord, whatever that the target or whatever with the intention that he was praying, he was just thinking about asking for the kingdom and all these material things. Material, when I say material, means which are not permanent. At one day they will go away. Then he said, "Oh Lord, I was just praying you to give me all these things, but now I realized I don't want anything. I just want the form of yours to remain in me, remain in my smarana always. That's all I need." So look at the Lord. The Lord said, "Of course, you will get that, but besides that, you will also get a kingdom much, much bigger than your forefathers or anybody." So the Lord is so kind, not only fulfilling the material desires for the that are conducive for them, and then benefit give the ultimate benediction. So now that meditation in that form what is the theme that I want to get from these pastimes. Now, another thing is um, even Gajendra also, right? Gajendra stuck in this battle with the crocodile in the water, and he thought his mighty strength he would be able to get rid of the clutches of the from the crocodile, but he fought for several years. But yet no result, and finally, because of the Lord's mercy, he remembers that the only savior is the Lord Narayana. When he worships, when he meditates on the Narayana form and he worships the lotuses that are there in that pond, and that look at the dry making here is, even in that even in his meditation, that form, the form is what is important, and he's worshipping that, and he's offering the lotus, he's offering water, whatever in that situation, time, place, circumstance, in that situation is available for him, is offering them in the deity form, and that delivered him. Narayana immediately, he is a Sarvantaryami, he is a Karunamaya. So he is immediately rushed to save the Gajendra. And it is said that at that time Narayana was with Lakshmi Devi, and Lakshmi Devi was serving him by massaging his leg, and without informing her, he just rushed. So the Lord, look at that. He is the for his bhakta. He surrender. He gives himself, and that is the repeatedly we have seen in the past times, like when his Sudama is also known as in South India as Kuchela. When he comes to Dwaraka, look at that. He is the creator. He is the what is that whole creation comes from him. He is the proprietor, and yet that personality is washing his friend Sudhama with water. And look at that. Can we imagine? Suppose if somebody asks me to, if a guest is coming and somewhat a lower position taking me itself is so egoistic. I I can't do that. But the Lord, look at that. He is everything. What else? He owns everything. And in fact, and that personality is, and that is one. And what about even the in the Ramayana? We see in that pastime Shabari giving the fruits after eating in the sense tasting, and she offers, right? But here, the external act of tasting before offering to the Lord may be aparada, but Lord doesn't distinguish. Lord looks at the bhava. Bhava is the most important in all our activities, and that bhava, and one may say that I'm not doing that. See, that conscious, we call about conscious, right? Bhava, conscious, all are synonym terms, and developing that conscious is not an easy thing. I might have done so many nasty things in my journey, in so many lifetimes and lifetime other, so it is not easy. The whole practice of whatever activities that I am doing, that is to build and to nurture my conscious that always in the Krishna. See, when I develop that conscious of all the time, so that is the goal at the end of the day. Now, so these are the some of the pastimes where the devotees were meditating on the deity form of the Lord. And here, if we look at the once again translation, the performing prescribed duties. So couple of themes I want to highlight from these two slokas. One is prescribed duties, and the second one is the deity form, and the third one is ultimately realizing or understanding that the Lord resides in all the jivas. So the fourth point is realize that the Lord resides in all the jivas as Paramatma. And then the fourth conclusion that I need to strive is um, when the Lord resides in every jiva, that means every body is a temple for me, and I should not be I should not be having jealousy or the any animosity with all other jivas. See, if we have that maturity, if I reach that maturity, now my life will be very peaceful, because often the jealousy, ego, all these uh, are just I'm suffering from this, right? Jivas are said to suffer from all this. So to purify ourselves, what is that purification process? So that purification process is the sadhana bhakti. And in sadhana bhakti, Srila Prabhupada has made very, very simple, because often in society we come across the spiritualists and giving their talks on different ways. And some people, they say this Vedic knowledge is so complex, and some people say, and Srila Prabhupada says it's very simple. And to that extent, he has given us the beautiful process. Now, coming to a little bit a note on the first point, prescribed duties, right? So here, prescribed duties, Prabhupada addresses in the form of Varna and Ashrama. As we know, there are four Varnas: Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Shudra. These are the four Varnas. So for each Varna, the prescribed duties are already there. So what is that? Brahmanas. They perform all the spiritual uh, uh, activities we may call rituals or whatever it is. Those are the rituals are also, I mean, practices that are in the process of sadhana bhakti, right? So brahmanas are, their duty is to perform and guide the masses, the society also. So brahmanas is not just that they need to perfect the life, they also need to guide. This is where I want, and then this is also where I want to mention how magnanimous the Srila Prabhupada was. Srila Prabhupada, when first time he came to the Western society, America, then he was giving this Vedic knowledge to the American people here. Then when he went back, he was chastised. Why are you giving these Vedic knowledge to these people? Then Srila Prabhupada says, Brahmana means Brahma Janati Brahmana. So the one who has that broader mind, broader outlook, those are people called Brahmana. So he said, why not? Right? Because he also knows that all the jivas are part and parcel of Krishna. In all jivas, Parma is residing as Paramatma. Why they are not entitled? Why they should not be given? So when Prabhupada with all these Vedic injunctions, when he explained them, those people could not say anything, because there is a vested interest in that society. Some people, in the form of when they are treated as brahmanas, they don't want to share this knowledge. So, and that is a reason also in Indian society there is a hatred developed on that particular varna, because people said, when in the name of brahmanas they were doing a lot of nasty things. So that is one thing. Forgetting what historically happened and why that one is lack of this understanding. So brahmanas, then vaishyas, and vaishyas are the mercantile group. So they pashu and then the farming, they do these things, and they duty is to take care of the cows, and then grow the food in the form of crops and other things. So that their duty, because society needs everything, right? So once they cultivate, that can be served to the maintain the bodies of the in the society for by the jivas. Now kshatriyas. Now these kshatriyas are, their duty is to defend, rule the masses. And see, kshatriyas means it's not just their family, and they should be enjoyer. See, that is the classical difference we see when people forget the central theme or central instructions of um, the spiritual literature, particularly Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. They think that they are born in the Kshatriya class and all the rest of the society should be served them. And in fact, this is other way around. They should be serving the society in the form of protecting their borders and giving, nurturing the citizens, guiding the citizens also for the spiritual upliftment to realize what is the purpose of life and all this. So Kshatriya Dharma, that is Kshatriya Dharma. And then the finally Shudras. So Shudras, what is there? All other labor activities they perform, right? So it is also, one should understand that one who is in that Sudra Varna, it is not that should be treated a third class um, citizens, and they should not be and they are not prohibited from the spiritual practice. No, not at all. So this kind of misunderstandings spreaded by the some lack of our vested interest people of the society, the whole that particular Shudra community, in one sense, started developing heinous. They started developing or hating these scriptures. Why? Misrepresentation. Now that misrepresentation mostly have been gone with the spiritual acharyas. There are eminent, so many spiritual acharyas. They didn't distinguish these are that caste. So that understanding, unless we have this proper understanding and communication with the masses, then the varna dharma can be misinterpreted. So that is what is it. And next, ashrama. So the four ashramas, right? The four ashramas are like brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. Now, brahmacharya and vanaprastha and sannyasa. So they are more an individually practiced practices. But whereas grihastha ashrama, see, grihastha ashrama is such a beautiful and easy ashram. Now, also in the Lord, in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, see, one is not by the birth. A particular person born in a particular family should not be deciding these factors, meaning is which varna, brahmana. See, guna karma vibhagashaha. So, Lord says that this is not by the virtue of in which family they born, they should be treated as like that. That means, say for example, a person takes birth in the Brahmana family, and he should not be treated just because he born in the Brahmana family. He should be treated based on his qualities. Suppose a person taken birth in the Brahmana family, but his acts are not the Brahmana qualities, then he should be treated according to his character. He is doing all the Shudra activities. Yes, he should be treated as Shudra. So that is the spirit. So often in Indian society, it is misrepresented that that and even that a person who takes bath, he should be treated. No, if he is not doing the Brahmanical activities, he should not be treated as a Brahmana. That is very important to note and distinguish, because it is in practically in when I was in a project, I had a couple of friends. We were discussing, then he was boldly proclaiming that he was Brahmana. But then we were in a restaurant and then he was consuming the non vegetarian food. So, how heinous! People lack of this understanding. Just because you born in the Brahmana family, but you do all these adharmic activities are not prescribed duties, but how dare you to claim that, right? And in fact, you should practice and you should guide the rest of the society, but that is not lacking. And so, and vice versa. A person can might have taken birth in Shudra family, but he has all the Brahmana qualities and he's doing those duties also should be appreciated. Now, coming to the our central that is on the first topic, the prescribed duties. Now next, how the ashrama, how this ashrama. So now, particularly on a practical point of view, I want to discuss or focus on the how deity worship in grihastha life is very important. Now, because most of us, at least I would say 99.9%, most of us in our community are in the Grihastha ashram. And for a Grihastha, it is not easy. See, for Grihastha ashrama, this is the most safe way of achieving the spiritual realization, the God realization. Why? Uh, when in our practices, in our actions, not always all the time, 100% our actions are dharmic, or there will be some chuk, I mean some mistakes may happen. Now, those mistakes for Gruhasthas, lot of leverage or what do you call exemptions are given, meaning the sense gratification is very prevalent. See, this is one thing, but these senses, when we look more deeply, uh, the senses are the one which is bewildering us, dragging us in different direction. So this, in the process of managing these senses is not easy. It's very difficult. In particularly manaha, right? When the I'm just deviating because it's highly important how the life can become very difficult. Is not become. It is difficult. Why? Because of the sense control. The sense control is very difficult, and Arjuna asks, "How is it possible for my mind to focus on?" It is. It. He compares with the wind, and the Lord says, "Yes, Arjuna, you are right. It is not possible. It is. It is very difficult." He says, "It's very difficult." Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham achalam. He says, "Asamshayam. There is no doubt, Arjuna. It is very difficult to control. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagena cha griyat." The next two sentences, the Lord gives the formula or the prescription. Abhyasa, meaning practice, sadhana. So the whole life is meant for sadhana. So that he says. And then he says, vairagya, developing the detachment. These two are the formulas are given by the Lord Krishna. What is that? Abhyasa, sadhana, and vairagya, uh, developing the detachment or renunciation. These are the two. So now coming to bringing these two, the prescriptions, how do we internalize or how do we put it in our day-to-day life, right? So that is where Srila Prabhupada has given a beautiful process we call a sandwich program. What is the sandwich program? Um, and he also said that for Grihasthas, it don't worry. This is the best ashram and the easy ashram for you to achieve the highest perfection. He also says, right? See, this divine knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita was not given to a renunciate. He is not given to a brahmachari, or is not given to any other person. That knowledge was given to direct Arjuna. Arjuna is nothing but is a gruhastha and is fighting for establishing the dharma for his right? So that knowledge is given. So this knowledge is perfectly suitable for gruhasthas also. And in fact, this is even given directly to the gruhasthas itself. Now, how in the current context of these slokas, the deity worship, right? That is where I'm trying to establish the path. So, how this deity worship? So, the Prabhupada, the sandwich program. See, Grihasthas often. Now, let's touch a touchy subject called the husband and wife relationships. Often in the current society, it's a havoc. I mean, of course, in devotee communities, we see that the peacefulness, but outside, people are, chaos. Why? and husbands thinks the wife should be served him, and she thinks he should be served her. So this vice versa is going. Why? Lack of the what is the ultimate purpose? Who is actually whom? Who should be serving? And according to the scriptures, everybody, irrespective of the gender, they should be serving the Lord. That is, in fact, the Purusha, the actual Purusha is the Lord, not the female and the Purusha that we interpret, Stri and Purusha that we interpret. The so called men are not the real Purusha. Purusha is the Supreme Lord. So, that understanding when we have, the bodily appearances doesn't make any difference. So, here now, Srila Prabhupada says, make the Supreme Lord as your center of the family. How is that? Now he suggests have established deity in your family, in your house, and all the activities should be surrounded around the deity. How? So you establish the deity, and for that what you have to do, the deity, when we say deity means, don't read that a marble stone or wooden stone, no, or wooden piece. It's not that. You treat the Lord personally residing, that bhava should be there. Then if you treat them, then what you do, we take three times a meal or whatever that one, right? You also cook. So Prabhupada said the sandwich program, what I'm saying is, he says morning program, and then in between you go for your work to make money, because money is also needed. Grihasthas, they can't say, hey, I'm practicing a devotional service now, I don't need money. No, we need money, not only for you, for the maintaining the family. That, and you morning, the in between is you go for work, and then you come back from work, and then that program. So morning program, in between you go for work, and the evening program. So that Prabhupada, that is the reason it is given sandwich. Why sandwich? In the middle is your karmic work, and the top most two, the bread pieces are compared to your morning devotional practice and evening devotional practice. So, just how this deity worship in the Grihastha life very practical, and how easy and how it is beneficial. You all know, right? So in the morning you wake up and you do your chanting or whatever, the worship, and then you wake up the deities, you offer the breakfast, and you cook, right? So when this is a very profound impact we will have. See, in the Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, because earlier, before, in India, what happens, our practice is we offer some sugar or fruits to the Lord, but rest of the whatever food that we cook, we don't offer. That is far better than not offering anything. But Srila Prabhupada said, whatever you cook in the kitchen, you should offer. Why? As a gratitude. But Krishna also, there is a direct people who think, okay, this is a ISKCON created process. No, the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita, he gives that instruction. Yajna shishta santo munjate sarva kilbishahai bunjate te tvagam papaye iti pachantyatma karmanat. He says, the one who cooks and without offering to me, if they take it, they are incurring merely sin. See, because I also had this doubt. When I came across this sloka, that is when I am satisfied. Yes, this is not a concocted process or something manufactured process by ISKCON. No. This is, in fact, it used to happen in the Vedic times, but with the process that's come. So, what is the recommended? Any time, whatever you cook, then you cook and offer it to Krishna, and then that is called bhoga. When you offer it to Krishna, that becomes prasadam, means of the Lord. So now, on a practical perspective, I want to throw some my thoughts. Now, say when a person coming to your home, how a guest is coming, how much precaution you take? You meditate on the menu. Oh, what is my guest likes? And then you prepare the menu, and you get the finest ingredients from the shop, and you cook with a right conscience, with a sattvic conscious you cook, and then you present to your guest. Why? You love them. And similarly, just think, when you love the Lord, how much care you take in preparation and getting the ingredients and everything, right? That bhoga, when you offer it to the Lord, and when you have that in the form of prasadam, two things. An external factor, your health will be so nice, because look at this, the society is suffering with so many problems, obesity, whatnot, all this. Primarily, one of the fundamental reason is the food that they are consuming. It is as such, there is vested interest companies are there. They don't care about your health. They care about their bottom line. One has to understand that the food that the whatever form we get outside is not healthy. Of course, see, we are grostas. In different people have different tastes. Once in a while, it's okay. But adopting this process, if you cook and offer it to the Lord, your finest ingredients, healthy ingredients, and then your health will be nice, right? And the other thing is, when you're taking this prasadam, it is a karmic free diet. Karma, as you know, it is very, very, whether it's even in mainstream, this term karma is accepted because it is right. Whatever I sow, the results I get it. So in the process of earning money and in the process of cooking, there are so many karmic activities happens, and that result will be, we don't know whether it is good or bad. So by simply to neutralize that effect of karma in the process of creation, making money, getting the food, and all this can be neutralized by offering it to the Supreme Lord, which is nothing but Karma Yoga. So, by offering, it is becoming karma free diet. But one thing we also need to understand, see, the Lord is not a karma free, is not a machine there. Is sanitizing our food. No, that is not the bhava. The bhava is he is the Supreme Lord. And he, because of him, I'm able to sustain my life. As a gratitude, I'm offering. So one may say, even sometimes Srila Prabhupada was asked, what is the big deal? I mean, why we are, see, in a higher spiritual perspective, the everything owns by the Lord. Then why I'm offering the whatever he owns? I'm not the real owner. That's a very, very right understanding. Then why should I offer? Right? So Prabhupada gives a very simple, profound example. He says, when a child goes brings a chocolate and gives to you, you will be so happy, isn't it? As a parent, you will be so happy. Yes, look at this, my child has so much love for me, and that is the reason he's giving this chocolate. He doesn't think that, hey, what is a big deal, you are buying from my money, because child is not earning money, but he's taking your money and getting the chocolate and giving it to you. You don't feel that, hey, he's getting from my money. You feel rather how much affection my child has towards me, how much he loves. You will embrace him, you will hug him, you will give so much, right? Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the owner of everything because he's the creator. But as a gratitude, we are offering it, right? So, this the deity worship has a profound impact and a practical way for a grihasthas, because now when we make the deity as the center of our family, then there is no question of who is the boss of the family, right? There is a nice saying, a cardboard one was holding. He says, on the cardboard it is written, I have the permission of my wife to say that I am the head of the family. It's a joke. So that coral is no more there. Who is the center? The Lord is the center of the family. He is the owner. He is the head of the family. When that treatment, when that understanding is there in the family, there is no quarrel. Everybody is peaceful, right? So the deity worship is highly recommended for everybody, but in particular for Grihastha, it is a very, very beautiful form or way of making our life very peaceful. Now, coming to the sandwich program, what should we do in the evening? When you come from work, engage, see, gather, pray to the Lord, have a program. You do some bhajans, or you hear some katha. So that practice as a family, when we do, it is very important. See, often in our Western society, forget about Western society, even in India also, people have become so vested. They are so busy because Maya is very, very difficult to overcome. Maya Devi keeps jivas testing, inundated. So unless we practice this one, so a family prays together, stays together. There is a saying, right? See how we can think how many families truly mornings and lunchtime you cannot sit together and eat. And in the evenings at least, how many families truly every day they sit together and eat together? Hardly few families they adopt this. See, this is unfortunately we are running behind this the wealth and everything, and big houses we want. We want expensive cars, we want expensive vacations, we want everything we want. See, in the process, we have to work more, and we have to work more means that is a time taken away from the actual that love and affection that we get from our own family, our own fellow human beings. See, this whole, instead of the deity, the money has taken a centerpiece. That is the whole problem. So, in this Bhagavatam sloka, it is established. Now coming to the I think I'm stretching my time, so I will try to conclude in another 2 3 minutes. So here so the deity worship, and then coming to these two slokas, in my opinion, a perfect prescription for all the problems we have. The Lord says, okay, prescribe, then even prescribed duties along with that deity worship is important. And then the third thing is comes, then when we are performing this deity worship, that understanding should come. What is that understanding? The Lord is residing in everybody, right? Paramatma is residing in everybody. Whether is a criminal, he is a pious person. He is residing everywhere. Now that understanding should be there, right? So even Bhagavad Gita says Panditaha Samadarshinaha. So Pandita is not the one who memorizes all the slokas and eloquently speaks. No, Panditaha in a practical terms, one who sees everybody part and parcel of Krishna, one who sees in everybody is Paramatma is there. Now just beautiful thought, right? When we understand this, where is the question of our differences with anybody? If somebody chastises me, immediately my tendency is to give them back, right? I mean, we say, right? Who are you to tell me? So this is a very practically, as a devotees, it is recommended that see, not always we need to. Every battle is not a worth to take to fought for it, right? There are, you have to pick and choose. And a practical terms, I am saying, if something is not is causing problem for our devotional service, just ignore. See, when it impacts you truly, then only you respond. Otherwise, just see, these are all weeds kind of thing. So ignoring them is the way, best way, with the realization that the Paramatma is also residing in them, but they are covered with Maya, and that is the reason this is happening. And you pray to the Lord, please help them to realize that you, right? That is the highest form of empathy that can be expected from the devotees. So that is one thing. Now, on a practical ground, even if we expand this the situation across the countries, every country want to be the boss of the world, right? And in the process, what is happening, these wars and etc, so many calamities are going. And that is the reason we also say that in the scriptures, right, in the Sanatan Dharma says Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. It doesn't distinguish this country or that country. It Vasudhaiva, the entire planet, it treats as a kutumba, one family. If that understanding is there, where is the question of all these the clashes between the countries? So truly, as a citizens of the society, we need to elect the leaders who have this understanding, right? Because in olden days, it used to be said as yadha raja tada praja. But now there is that situation is not there in a so-called democracy. Only people are electing these people. So yadha praja tadha raja. So the reverse trend is needed. People have to choose the pious leaders. Then only the this peace will prevail naturally. Otherwise, the conflict goes on and on and on. So, okay, in the interest of time, I will stop here. Once again, these two slokas are really profound applications for all our individual and society level problems because we treat everybody as part and parcel of Krishna. And also, every jiva, in every jiva, the Lord is residing. So, if that understanding is there, I mean, today it may not be there, but at least since we hear day by day, we nurture, our lives will be very profound and easy and easily to go back to the Godhead. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, please, we can have 1 or 2 minutes. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class. Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Valli. I'm just listening what all you are saying, what is there in Gita and what is there in practicality, Grihastha life, mainly what we are struggling with. You give so simple examples and very profound way that they are connected together with us in daily life. When you said Abhyasena tu Kauntaya, that is very popular was from that Srimad Bhagavad Gita also. So nice, Prabhuji. All the points are very, very good. You touched upon the food and how the offering should be made, and also the relation between the husband and wife and the family, and how God has to be the center of the family and not anyone else, and how to take care of the people that are not so conscious also. So that is the most um, hard for me, because most of the friends and family members are not devotees, and it will be strange for them even if I offer bhoga or if I do the practices morning, evening, and they are thinking that I'm neglecting the family and taking more care of the other things. But for me, what you said is very, very important, because they are covered by Maya and we have to be very compassionate to them. And that is the only God can save them, but we have to be in our own practices. So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very, very wonderful.
Thank you very much, Mataji. This is all not my that whatever Guru Maharaj and then devotees hearing. So constant association.
Yeah,
So that is all
Shravanam.
nothing. Shravanam.
Yeah, the sandwich program you said is very best, Prabhuji, because morning and evening, it
Yeah.
is like a guard for us, right?
Yeah.
Taking guard, that's what they say. So morning we wake up, like make our day properly, and evening we thank God that we are away from all that and we are safe, and we are having good evening programs also every day.
Yeah.
Uh, that is very nice.
Yeah.
Recently, I saw a small clip in the video, Prabhuji. They have the consciousness from the previous life, and that
Mm,
boy is only 7 or 8 years old, and he remembers the family he has. He
mm,
has a business doing some biscuits or something, and still he has the memory of the 4 kids he has, and he want to go to that place. I didn't feel that it is a wonderful video and the next life and how he is connected, but I was
mm,
thinking like how hard he has that attachments. Even after
mm.
leaving the body, right?
Yeah.
The soul
Yeah.
is still carrying that all the impressions. Means
Impression.
how
Yeah.
hard it is for him. But he's saying the place where he lived and all the people, and he was very rich family, and he's afraid of water because his death happened drowning in some river or something, some water
Mm,
thing. So
mm.
he's afraid of taking the bath from the beginning as a kid also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hmm. So the
So,
soul is having all
yeah.
those impressions means,
Impressions, yes.
yeah, if we keep those impressions in the form of God, how
Mm.
nice will be the next life for me, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So instead of holding all those abhyasena to kaunteya, right? If you do
Mm.
that abhyasam of
Mm.
detachment right
Yeah.
now,
Mm. Mm.
right? So it
Yeah.
is hurting him even in the next life.
Next life, yes.
He is
Mm.
asking the parents to take him to that place and want to still see that family.
Family. Wow.
So
Yes.
these parents are also worried.
Mm.
Hmm?
Yeah, yes.
So
Yes. Yeah. It's true, Mata.
this says the travel of the
Mm.
soul is there definitely because it
Yeah.
is taking body to
Mm.
body. So that's the main thing I got from that, because no question that we are doing the
Mm.
practices and
Mm.
they will, everyone asked me, do you believe that there is a new life and this is the only life you have to
Mm.
enjoy?
Mm.
That is not the situation. This is not the only, we had
Yeah.
millions of lives before and we may
Right.
have several more later. So
Yeah.
if you believe that one, how you have to use your time in this life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is the best way? So how
Yeah.
to get out of this cycle?
Yes,
So
Mata.
your
Yep.
class is so much into that, Prabhuji. That's what I remember that story.
No problem.
Hare
Uh, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.